Welcome, my friends, to another edition of Songs for the Journey. I was in church last night and it was quite an interesting moment for me, very reflective. So, the speaker that went up to do an exhortation, she started out by reading a poem, and I'm going to read that poem in your hearing. Just a short part of it because it's a very long poem, but just to give you the gist of what I'm about to talk about. It says the title of the poem is God's Eternal Ink. I dream I was in heaven where an angel kept God's book. He was writing so intently, I just had to take a look. It was not, at first, the writing that grabbed my curiosity, but the fact the ink would disappear each time he'd write a line or three. I asked him why he wrote that way, why words would fade so fast. He smiled and said, what's done with love is all that meant to last. Each act done on a selfish heart will vanish from the page, but deeds of kindness, selfless love will live from age to age. He paused and looked me in the eye. Each day, the book is written new. So live with love in all you do, and what is written will stay true. This is just a snapshot, a summary of it, because what she read was a much longer version of this. But just to give you the gist of what I'm about to talk about tonight, and before I go into singing, as I reflect on what she was saying, we were doing our testimony service, and she people were just sharing about seizing the moment, living each moment as if it is your last, because you just never know. And in fact, we don't know, because today we're here, tomorrow we are not. I mean, people have been dropping like flies these days. As far as I know, today you see somebody and you just don't know if you're going to see them again. And it was just a moment for me to reflect on what I am doing. Why do we exist? Why are we on this earth? Are we doing what we ought to do? Are we living each moment as if it is our last? Sometimes we live our lives as if we have all the time in the world, and which we don't. But I want to just remind everyone that's listening tonight that it is important that we live each moment as if it is our last. We make what we're doing, make it count. As the writer from this the poem here, everything that we do is being recorded, whether it be good or bad. And the essence of this poem was talking about the angel was actually recording everything that was being done, and it's only what really mattered that really stayed, that really was reflected on the book that he was writing through. And even though the part that I read to you just now didn't talk about the fact that the ink, the what the angel was writing about was her life, and most of the pages were the ink on the pages were disappearing because what she was doing, it didn't matter. It didn't bring any weight. It didn't bring any essence to what she was supposed to do. And so those disappear. A few things stayed on the page because it's really what mattered. And I just want to encourage us tonight that the coming of the Lord is near, and we need to live a life that matters, live a life that counts, live a life that is for the glory and honor to the Lord. Love hard. Sometimes it's very hard to love people that have hurt you, but it's important for us to love each other. And, as I reflected on that, I was like, Lord, when I leave this earth, I want to leave I want to be remembered in a positive way. I want to be able to make the dash. We have two dates that we have no control of, the day that we enter this world and the day that we leave. But what is in your dash? Make that dash count. Make it be something that somebody can reflect and remember. And as I further think about it, I was like, Lord, I don't want to just live a life and then in the end I hear, depart from me, I know you not. And so I'm going to be singing this song, and join with me if it resonates with you. It says, I want to hear you welcome me. And after all that is said and done, we want to hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant. We want to hear the Lord said, welcome, my child. And so let us bear that in mind as we live in these last days, trying time, challenging times. But we want to make sure that what we do is all about Jesus, as my pastor would say. And we want to make sure that what we do it as unto the Lord. When my work on earth is done and I am called to face my record, Lord, I want to hear your welcome, my child. I want to feel my hand in thine when I shall cross the borderline. Jesus, blessed, hold my hand the last mile. I want to hear you welcome me and with you spend eternity. I want to be among that number that day. With lamps so trimmed and burning bright, with robes so pure and spotless bright. Jesus, help me to be faithful, I pray. Though I gain the whole wide world and lose my soul when comes the judgment, I would give it all for just one more day. Another day to kneel and pray and ask the blessed Lord's forgiveness. Jesus, help me live for you while I pray. I want to hear you welcome me and with you spend eternity. I want to be among that number that day. With lamps so trimmed and burning bright, with robes so pure and spotless bright. Jesus, help me to be faithful, I pray. If to you I have been true in everything, I have been faithful, then I'll know I'll hear your welcome, my child. If I have fought a fight of faith while here upon my homeward journey, Lord, I'll know I'll hold my hand the last mile. I want to hear you welcome me and with you spend eternity. Lord, I want to be among that number that day. Lord, with lamps so trimmed and burning bright, with robes so pure and spotless bright. Jesus, help me to be faithful, I pray. If to you I have been true in everything, I have been faithful, then I'll know I hear your welcome, my child. If I have fought a fight of faith while here upon my homeward journey, I know you will hold my hand the last mile. Oh, I want to hear you welcome me and with you spend eternity. Lord, I want to be among that number that day. With lamps so trimmed and burning bright, with robes so pure and spotless bright. Jesus, help me to be faithful, I pray. Oh, I want to hear you welcome me and with you spend eternity. Lord, I want to be among that number that day. With lamps so trimmed and burning bright, with robes so pure and spotless bright. Jesus, help me to be faithful. I pray, Jesus, help me to be faithful. I pray. God bless you. And remember, this life is just for a moment. Eternity is longer than time, and we want to make sure that what we do on this side matters. Hallelujah. When we step over in eternity. God bless you. Please share this video to friends and families, and please subscribe as well on this channel if the content is something of a blessing to you. God bless you. Love you all.